Yeah, here we go. A Wednesday morning, the 13th day of February 2019. Good morning, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, big and small. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us for today's edition of Good Day Grenada. As always, I'm hoping that you'll be able to spend the entire hour with us this morning. And just in case you don't or can't, we will be up on Facebook, which we are right now. It should be. Just let me take a look here. Yeah. We are there on Facebook. And a little later on after the program, we will also be up on YouTube. So you can go on back and listen to it at your leisure. We actually have an in-house guest this morning. She's going to be popping in here any minute now, and you'll find out in just a wee bit who that is. But let's take a look at the rundown to begin with. How much will the two upcoming one-day cricket matches cost us? You know that England's coming down here to play some cricket in a couple of days. The answer to that question is we don't know. And to be honest with you, if you're about to go by what you will be hearing in a moment, I'm not sure that even our government knows how much. One thing's for sure, it's going to cost us. And they do have some concerns, but hang in there for just a wee bit. You are going to find out more as we move along. The Belair Home is showing its appreciation to Grenlec. You know, that's one incredible company. You know, these folks have had a pretty rotten ride here in recent times. But they continue to reach out to our communities across the country. I have nothing but deep admiration for what they have done, what they are doing, and I can tell you, there's an awful lot more that they want to do. Well, the Belair Home has shown its appreciation. I have a little clip here which was sent to me yesterday, and I'm going to share that with you this morning. Then we get into the national report. Yeah, the national report. And as always, I'm sure you guys are going to be looking and listening very carefully. There's always some sort of comment about the report after we've aired it. And yes, Sherron Roberts is going to be in here this morning. You know, those of you who've been following us over the past few weeks heard Sherron a few weeks ago while I think she was in Florida at the time. And she promised us that when she got back to Grenada, you know, she would help us to try and bring you a little bit more programming from outside of the studio. So we're going to ask her this morning to share some ideas with us. And hold on, time out. We're not just asking Sherron. We're asking toi, you. I need some ideas. You know, we are working towards capturing a lot more of what goes on around Grenada. Not necessarily in the form of news. Every other radio, TV station, everybody's just news. That's fine. That's great. But there's a lot happening in this place that you never, ever hear about. By people I refer to as the unsung heroes, because there are a lot of people doing a lot of good things in this place. And we intend to go out and capture these people at work. We intend to show you more of what Grenada has to offer. And we have one hell of a lot to offer. But somehow, you know, if it's not TB and scandal, nobody really pays any attention to it. Yeah. So we're going to have a little chat this morning when Sherron gets started with us, okay? Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait. And I expect you to put some ideas on Facebook this morning so that we can add to our list. By the way, as I speak to you, right under my monitor here, I see two little feet creeping into the studio. So I know that I know that she has arrived. There she is with a big smirk on her face. We'll get to her in just a wee bit. But first, let us get rolling this morning. The Minister of Culture and Sports, Senator Norland Cox, has stopped short of giving a direct figure on what the island's government is paying to host the two upcoming one-day games between the West Indies and the visiting English cricket team. Grenada is believed to be spending substantial amounts to stage the two games on February 25th and 27th at the cricket stadium. Speaking to reporters at the weekly post-cabinet briefing held last Wednesday, Mr. Cox, Senator Cox, shied away from giving a specific monetary contribution, but he said that Grenada's investment for the games is significant. He spoke of the island having to put out money to meet a number of requirements, which have to be satisfied for the successful holding of the two matches. He said, for example, the curator will be flying in to come and look at the outfield, and if there are any areas for improvement, they would have to get maybe more chemicals, more material. He says it's an ongoing process. That is one part, the preparation of the stadium, okay? The second part, he says, has to do with the fees for the game. Don't think England just coming on bat ball here and we had to pay something for that. That's a second expense. And that, he says, is quite significant. He says it kind of hurts his head because of the investment that Grenada is going to have to make. It's quite a lot. But he believes that it is important because of the impact that the games will have for us economically. According to Senator Cox, there are financial benefits for the island from hosting the games because the hotels are already fully booked up at the moment. Can you believe that? Huh? Mr. Cox went on to say that England is coming with a contingent of 3,000 people, minimum. So, Grenada is going to have a wonderful time, he explained. So within that context, government does not want to look too much at the figure, but they want to present a wonderful experience for Grenadians, visiting English patrons, and the teams. That, he says, is the main objective. But it's a significant investment, and they're going to be spending money. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. Senator Cox stated that the organizing team working to host the two matches is doing everything possible to minimize the negatives so that Grenada could have a good showing of itself. Went on to add that it is critical for the island to pay close attention to the indications and recommendations made by the inspectors who are sent to assess the situation for the holding of the matches. Let me quote him here for a minute. He says, if we have a little write-up against us, it remains on the book. And so if there's a competition between us and another country for a particular game going forward, that could raise a lot of red flags. And you know what? the chances of getting that game will be minimized. He said he can tell you there was an experience the last time we had cricket where the cutter, stuff for cutting the grass down there, cutter was operating. Accidentally, a line burst and some hydraulic fluid spilled onto the field. And when he met the people from Cricket West Indies after that incident, that was one of the first things they reminded him of. Good memory. Okay, so that's it for West Indies cricket. I think it's 25th and 27th, they're going to be here. And we are going to be looking forward to that. Going to find out in a wee bit how Miss Wiltshire here, Roberts Wiltshire, feels about the results of the third test match. We'll find out in just a wee bit. Before that, I want to take a look at Facebook and see. Ooh, a lot of activity there on Facebook this morning. TF is saying good morning, and Sue is Veronica sending us her blessings. Pedro is back in Long Island. Yesterday he was in New York. Today he's back in Long Island. Cassandra Mitchell says, reading the topics up for discussion, how can we not know how much the 1 days would cost us, the taxpayers? Hey, Cassandra, as I get it, so I sell it. That's it, girl. Lincoln Roberts, hello. Lincoln Roberts, I think I knew that character. Lincoln Roberts says, greetings to all from Wellington, Florida. Much love and respect. This guy is always so kind. So kind. Got to meet you face to face one of these days, fella. Got to meet you. Peter says, you mean the NNP report? When I said he's referring to the national report. When I said a little while ago we're going to get to the national report, he said, you mean the NNP report? Hey, Pedro, you're not the only person saying that. A lot of people have been talking about that. It's amazing how that institution, the Government Information Service, it's not putting out just government information anymore. It's putting out party information. And this is something that's been going on for a long time, and it's very worrying. Very worrying. Let me see here now. T.F. Richards says, George, I applaud that initiative of finding new stories. Guess you may just have a job for our beloved Lou. You know something? That's interesting you should mention that, fella, because yesterday morning, after I got through doing the program here, Lou actually came and sat here with me for about 45 minutes or so, and we had a great chat. This man, at least from my perspective, has an awful lot to offer. We're going to find ways to keep him busy. Hang in there. I ain't seeing anything more for the time being. TF also goes on to say, George, I'm a cricket lover too, but we all should know by now that cricket in Grenada is a goodwill gesture economically. If one looks at it, given the overhead costs, it is definitely not economically viable. And I'm speaking here of just the game itself. I guess the fiscal space would allow the government to do so. See, you still have your sense of humor. Okay. Hello, Margaret. Margaret says, good morning. So you're coming to ask me to pay for something, but you don't want to tell me what the cost will be? Hey, Mags, come on. Surprised. She says, I must just give you a blank check. Shaking my damn head. So says Margaret. Dennis Clark says, the government of Grenada is not accountable to anyone. We yet to get a fiscal report on the last test match. England played here 5 years ago. Pilgrims, I mentioned to you at the top of the program this morning that there's an organization here, the Belair Home, that's saying thank you to Grenlec for the work that they do in our communities across the country, in spite of the challenges they face from government, okay? And yesterday, I was sent a little clip. It's only about 3 minutes long, and it shows Belair extending its appreciation to Grenlec. I want to run that by you right now. Take a look.
Good morning. I am Lisa Charles, manager of the Belair Home for Children and Adolescents Incorporated. And this morning it is my pleasure to present or to show appreciation to Grenlec for all that they did for us over the past years. We celebrated our 20th anniversary on January 12th, so we're in our year of celebration, and we would not be complete if we didn't thank those who helped us to reach this far and who keeps us afloat, keep us going. Grenlec is our parent company and was one of the major contributors to this organization. Its existence, its very existence. They gave $1 million towards the building of this home and continue to provide support and assistance to us over the years. They did the preschool for us. They added an extension to our nursery so that our babies and toddlers can be more comfortable in their own space. And we are truly grateful to Grenlec for all that they did, continue to do. And we just want to show appreciation. I mean, this is a very small token. It's the least, it's not, we wish we could do more for them, but they know how it is. So I would like to present this plaque to Mr. Cover and want you to know that we appreciate you very much and all that Grenlec is doing. Without you, I don't know what would have happened to us. And we hope that this partnership continues.
Ms. Charles, I want to thank you very much for this token that you have given to us, and it's our pleasure to help you. They say one of the hallmarks of a civilized society is not the technology, it is the care we give to the disadvantaged and the disabled. And what you're providing in this house, we are pleased to be a part of. It shows that Grenada is a civilized society, and you clearly are one of the stalwarts in this. You have been here more than 15 years in this organization. The place is clean, the children are happy. We are very pleased with what you're doing here. And we want to congratulate you on your 20th anniversary and say to you, keep it up, and as long as we're able, we'll continue to support you and other organizations like this, which are making Grenada a truly civilized place. God bless you, and thank you all very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That is important. And then, they send their regards and whatever, but I was going to say, put that you on.
Alrighty, folks, there you have it. It's so nice to see people who turn around and actually say thank you. How often do we forget to say thank you? Let me join you folks at Belair and say thank you, Grenlec, thank you. Grenlec also helps to keep this program coming to you. Great admiration for these folks. Just going back a little bit here, Cassandra Mitchell says, and she's referring to the fact that somebody said the financial report for the last test match between the Windies and England is not yet available. Well, Cassandra says, it's our roles as citizens to hold our leaders accountable. Who is demanding these reports? Good question, girl, good question. Anyhow, look, it's 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. Georgie Porgy running behind time, and I don't want to intrude too much on this lady's time this morning. So let me take my first little break here, and we will get right into the national report, or excuse me, the NNP report, as Pedro says. Here we go.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing. So it's good to know I have Co-op Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank, and there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Welcome home.
Grenadian General Insurance Company, strength and stability. Grenadian General Insurance Company, tell your friends, tell your family. We cover householders comprehensive, motor and even fire too. Contractors all risk burglary, public liability, professional indemnity, directors liability, and wait, we still have more. Come and find out more what you're waiting for.
We are located on Scott Street, St. George's. For more information, call 440-2434.
Tell everybody.
Together with you, our customers, we energize our community.
Together with you, we energize our economy.
We are working together to give our nation a better tomorrow.
With you, we energize our future. Together, we energize our nation.
Thank you for partnering with us as we energize our Speyside.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Stalling again. Folks, just before I fire up the national report, there's a note here from T.F. Richards. He says, George, the classroom is large this morning. Thanks to the teacher, Teacher George. Come on, it's not actually large. By the way, please remember to like and share, as Margaret says. By the way, Mags, Auntie Mags, I am looking, when we get started with Sherron this morning and we start coming up with these ideas about things you'd like us to go out and shoot, we're counting on you to be ringleader, okay? You and Sherron here, we're counting on you guys. And I know you have a lot of ideas, so don't start backing off. I know you're on the job, but, you know, hold your little iPad down here so that the people in the office don't see what you're doing. Okay, now, here comes your national report.
St. Lucian delegation on study tour examining Grenada's seed program and juvenile justice system. Details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, February 12th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. Grenada is extending a hand of partnership to the Ministry of Social Justice in St. Lucia in its quest to adopt components of the island's Support for Education, Empowerment Development or SEED program. A visiting delegation, which includes the Minister for Social Justice, Mr. Leonard Montoute, and Permanent Secretary, Ms. Velda Joseph, is currently on island to gain more insight into Grenada's social services programs, including the SEED and the juvenile justice system. Social Development Minister, the Honorable Delma Thomas, told the delegation that the journey towards improving and restoring social services will at times be challenging. However, Grenada will be supportive in every possible way to help bring benefits and hope for the vulnerable.
We will be extending a hand of partnership to our St. Lucian colleagues in the quest to embark on these two very critical reforms. We pledge unreservedly to render whatever assistance and guidance required for successful implementation of those two reforms. As I said to you earlier on, it will be new for your country, and therefore you will have some challenges.
She says Grenada is in a good place with programs that are being sought by several OECS countries and organizations.
Not only St. Lucia is looking to us, but there are many other OECS countries. So St. Lucia is the first in a number of countries line up to come to Grenada to understudy our seed program. We have Antigua and a number of other countries, the OECS. In fact, even the World Bank has invited us on a number of initiatives abroad to speak to what is happening in Grenada as it relates to our social protection reform program. So we are in a good place, working to serve the most vulnerable persons among us. You know, I'm happy to be the minister with responsibility for social development, housing and community development at this time, whereby in the region and in the world we are looked at as a model.
St. Lucia's Social Services Minister, Mr. Leonard Montoud, says following the study tour in Grenada, legislation will be reformed and manuals and policies will be drafted to get the process started.
Within the next couple of years, that we can make some serious strides in ensuring that we address some of the problems that we are now facing. And of course, it is a work in progress. I know that we require quite a lot of resources that has to be expended in terms of putting the structures in place, but we are hoping that as we move forward with the changes in our legislation, with the adoption of new approaches, new projects, we will find the resources necessary to ensure that we expedite the process.
The Ministry of Sports says the upcoming two one-day internationals between the Windies and England on February 25th and 27th will boost the local economy. More than 3,000 cricket lovers are expected in Grenada to support the games between the West Indies and England as part of the biggest England tour of the Caribbean in the last 10 years. Tickets were available online for the 2019 games since November 2018. And Minister for Sports, Senator Nolan Cox, says the sale speaks volumes to the level of support the teams will have on both days.
Sales are going pretty fine. I trust that everybody here has already purchased their ticket because we, or probably as the media people, I know you guys have a free pass. Nonetheless, we want to encourage every Grenadian get an opportunity to partake and to go out and support our regional team. We have cricket on Monday the 25th and Wednesday the 27th. So we want to express that.
A second inspection of the field will be done soon to ensure it is at the required standard for the games.
Yesterday we had a visit with the team. The National Organizing Committee, we had a visit throughout the walkthrough to the stadium yesterday to ensure that all structures are in place. And we have a final inspection coming up, I believe, if not on the weekend, but early next week from Cricket West Indies. They'll be coming to do their walkthrough to ensure that everything is in place as well. We believe that it's going to be an exciting 2 day of cricket. Well, let's say 3 days experience in Grenada. We understand that there is a particular cruise ship that is following the cricket games throughout the island, and they will be here too as well. We'll have some more information on that for the media. We understand that a minimum of 3,000 spectators should be here in Grenada. And so we see this as very good for our local economy.
Following their arrival on Saturday, February 23rd, the team will get to enjoy good sportsmanship and all that the island has to offer.
The team arrives on Saturday, the 23rd. On the evening of that Saturday, we are planning a reception. We have a reception and cocktail schedule for the team and visiting persons at Sandals La Source. Details on the time will be given later. On Sunday, there is the Rally Around the West Indies concert at Spice Basket, which we are partnering together with GTE and a private promoter to have this concert. I think that we have David Rodder, who will be featured artist at that, along with other local artists at that concert. On Monday would be our first game. On a Tuesday, which is a rest day, we're going to have Taste of Spice extravaganza on the carnage, where our local cuisine, food, drink, local music products will be on display for our visitors to partake in, to share and be part of the Grenadian experience.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Big business don't participate.
Continuing the news, Grenada is once again reaping economic benefits through its partnership with the people of Japan. On Tuesday, a mini asphalt paver was handed over to the Honorable Gregory Bowen, Minister for Infrastructure Development, to be used for ongoing maintenance work on the nation's roads. The donation was made possible by the Government of Japan under the Japanese Grant Aid for Economic Development. With the donation of the equipment, training will also be provided. Representative Mr. Satoshi Izawa spoke of the contribution made and the cost of the equipment.
We are the supplier of the old equipment, of the granted equipment to the Grenada. On behalf of Japan International Cooperation System, which is the consultant of this project, the amount of the grant is 25 million Japanese yen, including this mini asphalt paver, as well as oil fence, oil skimmer, and high pressure washer, and the watering pump. Those other items are provided to the other department, but this one is the biggest equipment for us.
Infrastructure Development Minister Gregory Bowen commended Japan for the donation and hinted that his government has already begun discussions for a mobile asphalt plant. He urged those who will be part of the training for use of the equipment to make the best of the opportunity.
I encourage you to listen carefully and to do all that is necessary to ensure that we utilize and make good use of what the people, the taxpayers of Japan, were given to us. I've discussed with them, and we have to go through the next step, but now we know the direct contact. And the biggest point so far you're concerned about is an asphalt plant, isn't that so? Yes. So we're working on all fronts with respect to this. We're working on all fronts. By going through the government of Japan, it will take some time. But if we can work a combination of both, from ourselves, we help ourselves and we get help from our friends, then we'll be able to get all the necessary equipment. And we have discussed it. It must be a mobile plant, but big enough to supply us. So we could move it from here, we will move it to St. Andrew, we could move it to Paddock, and we will not be moving it every day, maybe every 2 years. As the road projects, get on stream. And right now we have the St. Patrick's Road on stream, and we cannot wait for that plant. Now we have the contact. We can see what can be done. So I encourage you to participate in the training, learn, but most importantly, to put what you learned into practice and to really give back to the people what we are giving to you, to all of us. And we want to show that Japan, those persons who have used the taxpayers' money to help us, we want to show them that we appreciate the donation that they make to us.
Minister Bowen says training on effective equipment use will enhance the quality of work done by the employees.
The training is of critical importance. That's why we're here this morning. And only a few weeks ago, we sat at management meeting and we decided that training must be critical. We have been doing training in the ministry, but we must step it up. In other words, our customers, the citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, must be comfortable with the work that we are doing. I know that some of us are not happy when we do quote-unquote patch or bit of road, asphalt road. Yes, and the public will say this is a hump here and that is not done properly, etc. So the equipment, together with the training, will help us to make what we do last, in the sense that when we put on a bit of regulation and we've done our holes, patching properly, then it will last.
And finally, the Smart Agriculture Enterprise Project will soon sign a Memorandum of Understanding with the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Ministry of Climate Resilience, and the Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs. The signing will take place on Monday, February 18th at the Ministry of Finance Conference Room. SAEP is a 6-year program from 2018 to 2024, funded by the Government of Grenada, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, and the Caribbean Development Bank. The development goal of the program is to contribute to the reduction of poverty and vulnerability of men and women in rural communities in the Tri-Island states. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
Alrighty, there goes your national report. Now, I mentioned at the top of the program that I was sure that you people would have some comments to make. Hey, so said, so done. Let me share these with you. First of all, T.F. Richards says, I'm glad when one can take a page from Grenada's book. But are they looking at it on paper or in reality? I say this because if they look into the operation, they may just be appalled. But then again, it's politics and politicians, no matter how you look at it. He also goes on to say here, I might be subject to correction. The Ministry of Works no longer repairs roads. The task is contracted out. So what is government doing with a road paver? Would it end up in the hands of the boys? ATF, take that thinking cap off. You think too much, TF. Peter Bishop says, Grenada is sought after to provide leadership in programs to look after the poor. Oh, maybe they should talk to Citizen Rollo, and he could tell them how they cut you off if you oppose the government. Pedro, a lot of people remember that, eh? A lot of people remember that. Andrea St. Bernard Mitchell says, coming to learn how to create that new industry called poverty. Who really benefits from all those programs that folks can't seem to exit? Keeping them dependent forever, eh? God bless you guys. God bless you guys. Pilgrims, just let me show you a quick look here at who or what's coming your way next. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. Look at that smile. Eh? Yeah. She's coming up next. And we're going to get to her, Lady Sherron, right after this.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
With free island-wide delivery, Hubbard's Building Supplies and Lumber Departments continue to provide the best quality lumber, steel, tiles, plumbing materials, electrical, and general hardware supplies at competitive prices. We continually consult with builders, homeowners, and contractors to improve product range and services. Enjoy discounts where applicable, including the use of credit and debit cards. At Hubbard's Building Supplies, Grandance, and Lumber Department, Caranage, we offer quality service, affordable prices, giving you the convenient, reliable, free island-wide delivery. Call 440-2087 for all your home improvement and building solutions.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, neighbor.
Here's the bill I asked you to pay for me.
How did you get your electricity bill to be so low?
For one, we size our transformers just for what we need. And we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LEDs.
They burn less energy, right?
Much less. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in.
And Grenlec is always advising us not to open the fridge too often.
That's right. And my family washes and irons in bulk.
With fuel prices changing all the time, how do you know if it is working?
We pay attention to the usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
So while Grenada can't control fuel prices, I can conserve energy and save money.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
And so, without any further ado, I say good morning to our buddy, Sherron Roberts, Wiltshire. Good morning, young lady. How are you?
I am so good, and good morning to everybody who are with us.
I mean, a lot of them people show up for you this morning.
Very good. Very good. We have a lot to talk about.
You know, I've been telling people here that I'm counting on you this morning. You didn't just come here to sit and look pretty this morning. We're putting you to work this morning and you started it. Some time ago you said to me, when you came back, we were going to get together and go scouting around this country, because people seem to like when they see what's going on outside of the studio.
That's right, and I agree with them, because you keep hearing about things that's happening in Grenada. Show us. So I pledge to all of you out there that as soon as George is free, any time, any day, with the exception of Wednesday afternoons when we I'm either preparing for Kaluki or because this is a game I was telling him that we're all addicted to. So we play at a different house every Wednesday evening from 7 o'clock. And on Thursday evenings when I play bridge. Other than that, I'm free.
Well, Thursday evenings, you know that we're tied up with We Chat. And by the way, I want to get her on the We Chat one of these days. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. We had actually, I think it was last week, we had her brother on here. Ian, I think it is?
Ian, that's my last brother.
Yeah. So, Sherron, during the GIS, we were talking about sharing some ideas, and I want to share some of the stuff, and this is only some. And folks, we are waiting on you to put your fingers on your keyboards and share your ideas with us, okay? We decided that one of the things we would do is make a visit to Carib's Leap. She was just telling me that a very dear friend, a mutual friend of ours, went to Carib's Leap for the last week?
Independence Day.
Independence Day. And this man born and raised here, and he ain't no spring chicken. But he only went to Carib's Leap for the first time. So we're going to go out there, maybe take a look at the scenery and talk a little bit about the history of Carib's Leap. She also suggested that there's a garden, a botanical garden, is it?
Yeah.
Where it's called Belair Grenada.
It's at the Grenada industry, and they have spices, and it's an interesting garden.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they have tourists go there every time there's a boat in, so I think that's a good place to start, maybe.
And there's another one called Sunnyside Gardens.
That's right. There are quite a few of them, because Lambert, who used to be at Flamboyant, he has an interesting garden.
That's right,
as
Lawrence.
well. Lawrence Lambert, yeah.
Yeah.
So they have quite a few of them around the place. And there's Laura. I've never been to Laura. Heard
Neither
of it.
have I.
So we could do that. And as you say, suggestions from people out there, because I don't just want to put across our ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody may say, gosh, I wish I could see what they're talking about at this place that do rubber tubing, for example. I've never been there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have been to that one, the Randall Robinson you're talking about? Yeah. I've been out to that one. Shoots. What's the name of that place up there? Anyway, I've been to it. It's on the way to Grenville when you're going through Grenada. Right. Okay.
Yes, so
By the way, your sister here says, Wednesday morning greetings, Gilbert, and to my dearest sisters, Sherron, Elizabeth, Roberts, Wilshire, and to all. And then she says, no, Cher, you are not free when Carla needs you. You were just saying a little
we
while.
could always take her with us.
Yeah, we'll take her with us.
Oh God, that would be a crazy time, because anytime the two of us get together, things go a bit crazy.
Yeah. Talking about crazy, we also mentioned GARP, the Grenada Association of Retired Persons. Now, let me tell you, these folks have fun. I think that's the reason why they put this association together. To have fun.
I went to Cuba with them, and boy, did we have fun.
Exactly. Well, there you go. So, well, people ain't dead yet.
No.
So, you see, this is the part that kind of drives me crazy. You and I are sitting here coming up with all these ideas, and these people out there, they want stuff to happen, but I don't see anybody saying, well, my idea is, so come on, folks. Come on, we want to hear from you.
Well, this morning I have an idea. I actually spoke to my contact, one of my contacts in Peter Martinique.
Mm-hmm.
I did a piece in, I think, Rolf Haschialik. I forget the name of his magazine now. Some years ago, I did something on sugar in the pita, because it's a tradition in Peter Martinique for hundreds, as far back as anybody they could remember, that especially if you have a very dry season, we sugar the pita and call on the ancestors to bring rain. I know it's just superstition, but it works. So I wrote a piece about it, and this year we hear from the Met Office that it's going to be a very, very dry season.
Take a look.
So I was told that right now Peter Martinique is brown. It's all burnt up. So on the 16th is normally the 17th of March, which is the feast of St. Patrick's. But on the 16th, because it's a Saturday and Peter Martinique people all tend to go to church on Sunday, we want to do that. We want to do sugar in the pita, where we go up, the people who could climb, who have good legs, and as I tell them, I would more than likely get halfway and wait for them. And we sugar the pita with rice and rum and water, and sometimes they do a bit of big drum up there. But in the base of the pita is a place called Pea Pond, which actually belongs to my brother Kennedy. And the people would be preparing rice tea. That is cooked rice done up with milk and coconut milk and all this, and make sure all the children come out and they get first before the older people get. And that is their custom. And they do a lot of other things, of course, big drum and so we hoping to do that on the 16th of March. So I'm gonna go up like
what day of the week
14th.
is that?
That's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. Okay. Okay.
So we were wondering if we could entice you to do your program from Peter Martinique on that Sunday.
Well, 16th of March? So
Yeah.
that would be the 17th of March.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to make a call to Digicel and see if they could provide us with a type of internet service that we would need to do that. Sure. We'll give it a shot.
Right. So we could work on that. Is something we could work on from now.
Absolutely. Now, there's somebody here who's, Mickaman Alexander is only just showing up, but Marina Williams Johnson says the Sulphur Springs in St. Patrick.
That's a good place.
A few years ago I went to that place. I don't know if things have changed, but access, it was not very easy to get in there. And considering the fact that it is an attraction, I was a little bit disappointed and the way it had been taken care of. Something like that could be sort of beautified and.
Well, I heard that they did a lot of work there.
Did
That's
they?
a place that I've been to a couple of times. The last time I was so disappointed. There was a lot of like candle sperm, like people been there burning candles, and the place was filthy. But I understand it's been upgraded.
Hey, okay.
That's going to La Poterie.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very easy to get to actually.
So that's another good reason to go visit.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we could do something with the Tivoli drummers when they
Yeah.
they do their moonlight. They
Yeah.
still do their moonlight drumming.
Yeah.
We could cover that.
Hey, let me make a note of
So
that.
there's so much to be done that you could do in Grenada.
Okay, yes.
So we're looking for, I mentioned the card playing. Now in Jamaica is a big thing, Kaluki. We started a couple of years ago. This year is going to be 6 years. When we lost our mother, the Roberts clan lost our mother, we were so devastated. We sort of didn't know what to do, where to go from here. And my good friend Cheryl Fletcher introduced us to Kaluki. Now, every Wednesday without fail, rain or shine, we meet. And we meet about 7 o'clock and we interact with each other. I call it we mind one another business. So we find out what's been happening with the family, who plan to travel and stuff like that. And then we play seriously. I make a disclaimer as soon as we start to play. I don't have husband, brother, sister, nor friend when we're playing. And the group is growing. We started with 1 table, and now tonight we're going to have 3 tables. And other people start playing with us.
Okay.
And there's also another group that play on Mondays that they call the Rum Shop Crew. And our good friend RKD belong to both groups. so it's a very addictive game.
Yeah.
And this is something that is so big that other countries have competition. It's similar to bridge. They have bridge competitions and stuff like that. So even that is something that, when they have domino competition, this is something that we can attract other people and can really grow in Grenada.
How do you spell the name of that game?
Kaluki, K-A-L-O-O-K-I.
K-A-L-O, okay. K-A-L-O-O-K-I.
That's right.
All right. So now, Margaret has come alive.
Good. Good morning,
has come alive.
Margaret.
And she said, good idea, Sherron, to do the show from PM, Petty Martinique.
Yep. Yes. And we're going to get GARP involved. I'm going to see Carol as soon as I live here because she wants to do something in PM.
Okay.
So maybe that is something we could do.
Then Margaret goes on to say, do a piece on the card game. I guess that's Kaluki. She says here, who plays it? How did you get into it? Etc., etc. We need more human interest stories. Hey,
Yes.
yeah, mags. That's the
We
mags
actually
I-
have 2 Canadians coming tonight to check us out. They're
Yeah?
visiting Grenada and they want to do something with local homes. So we're inviting them over to come over tonight and let's see what's happening.
Tonight's Wednesday night.
Tonight is Wednesday night and I'd love to invite you. Apart from watching the game, and it sometimes gets very loud, And
Really?
and we always have good food, because as if there's this silent competition. Because you know Kennedy is an excellent cook.
Is Kennedy going to be there?
Oh yes, Kennedy is going to be there, but Vincent is the cook tonight. So I'm always curious as to what Vincent is doing, because he comes up with just off the something very, very good.
I was just going to ask you, what's on the menu?
We never know. We never know what's on the menu.
Now, you know something, Sherron? I can guarantee you. You see this friend of ours out there in New York, Margaret? You just mentioned food. I can guarantee you Margaret is cock up soup. I can guarantee you. Margaret sprained her foot the other day, salivating over somebody with pizza
Oh
in New
dear.
York.
It's very rare that we have pizza. If we have pizza, is somebody who can't really cook, who would either bring in pizza, or sometimes Kennedy would make pizza. But when we played at RKD, for example, Ricardo Kings Douglas, people think Ricky can't cook. Ricky could well cook.
Oh, really?
We had pineapple chicken and salad and rice and a big meal and dessert.
It's been a little while since I've done this, but you're talking about cooking though, and Ricardo Kings Douglas. I think Ricky has probably had my coquille Saint-Jacques. Do you know what that is?
No. What's
Coquille
that?
Saint-Jacques is a dish that I learned to make in Canada. It's generally made from shrimp. Okay? It's essentially, it's really simple. It's shrimp sort of in a cream sauce, a French cream sauce, and you sprinkle that on a bed of rice.
Okay.
That's simple. Well, when I came back to Grenada, I found out just how expensive shrimp was in this place. So one day, the lady who was working with me said, "Hey, why don't you try using lambi?" And I started making this thing from lambi, and you know something, girl? Every time I make it and invite people over, I have to give them a doggy bag.
Wow.
Can you believe it? So, hey, we might have something going here. Hey, one of these days we might even throw George in the kitchen.
Why not? Why not? And once Margaret is in Grenada, we could do that. Hook up.
Mags, I know she's been thinking about coming down for the Maroon and
Carrico.
Petit Martinique.
Oh, PM.
That's
Okay.
May, I think it is.
May.
Okay. Mags, think real hard, girl. Think real hard. But in the meantime, I'm gonna try to go and check out Petit Martinique next month. By the way, here, Benedict Cador says, cards, all fours.
I can't play all fours.
Okay.
I don't know how to play that.
Yeah, but we
I
can
play
still-
Peach and 500 and all the basic games. But Kaluki,
Yeah.
somebody played with us, I think it was Friday night, and got in touch with me yesterday and said, where you all playing tomorrow? Want to play? So
Mhm.
they playing tonight.
Okay. I'm really. Am I invited tonight?
Of course you're invited.
I'm
We could always ask RKD to pick you up.
Yeah, I'm going to try and sneak out there tonight. Now, T.F. Richard says, George, there are certain traditions that are celebrated in Grenada, as Sherron said, sugar the paton, maypole dancing, fisherman's birthday, etc. Lots of people participate, but the origin is not known. That's a very good point. You know, this is where I have to get Gloria Payne Banfield involved. Yeah, this lady's a wealth of information. She says, what about doing programs on that? Maybe on or around the times of these, so that the origin and education can be spread. Hey, TF, your check's in the mail. Thanks a lot, buddy. I don't know this man, but I'm looking forward to really meeting him one of these. He's always so thoughtful, so brilliant. Margaret says, but of course, food is good. At least you know if you are around me, you wouldn't starve. Every Thursday night when we do We Chat, you know, just before we go on the air at 8 o'clock, we're looking at each other on the computer here. Margaret comes on camera. we always start the program with a laugh because Margaret is eating, and this woman is like a twig.
I saw that.
She is like a twig. Jeez.
Yes.
Anyhow, okay. I think we accomplished a bit today. Sherron, this is an ongoing process, and we're going to follow up. We have Reiki, Carib Sleep, the La Grenade Gardens, Sunnyside Gardens, GARP, the Sulphur Springs in St. Patrick, the Tivoli Drummers, and Kaluki. I'm going to put in here All Fours as well. We'll probably have to, who suggested All Fours? Benedict suggested All Fours. We'll probably try and get Benedict to arrange an All Fours session for us.
Okay.
And I think that's it for the time being. Thanks a lot, kiddo. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure.
So we did get something accomplished this morning.
Great.
Yeah? Yeah.
And it is funny, that's not what I came in here thinking, let me tell people about my political background, but next time.
Okay. Okay. She's going to expound on her political background next time. Dominic Patrice says,
Hey,
you know this person?
That's my cousin.
He says here, Cousin Sherron, good morning from rainy South Florida. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad you're here?
My family is so huge.
Yeah.
My contact in Pitamartinic I'm talking about is actually his nephew,
Okay.
who is my cousin.
Okay. Boy, the Roberts clan is massive, isn't it?
Exactly. We're very, very big. And our roots are from Wales and Scotland and
Wales?
Ireland.
Okay. Oh, a lot of us from across the pond there. Moi, Scotland, me. Scotland, where's the other one, boy? Portugal and Africa. Talk about a mixed up kid. Yeah. Good to see you, Sherron. Take care.
You too.
Folks,
Bye-bye, everybody.
Let's take a little break here, and we're going to come on back and wrap it up after this. Alrighty, folks, just about time to pull the curtain down. It's 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Please forgive Georgie Porgy for going a little bit over time. I have lived to see the fulfillment of this prophecy. Maybe you will too. It comes from Jeremiah chapter 11, verses 18 to 23. Because the Lord revealed their plot to me, I knew it. For at that time, he showed me what they were doing. I had been like a gentle lamb led to the slaughter. I did not realize that they had plotted against me, saying, "Let us destroy the tree and its fruit. Let us cut him off from the land of the living, that his name may be remembered no more." But you, Lord Almighty, who judge righteously and test the heart and mind, let me see your vengeance on them. For to you I have committed my cause. Therefore, this is what the Lord says about the people of Anathoth, who are threatening to kill you, saying, "Do not prophesy in the name of the Lord, or you will die by our hands." Therefore, this is what the Lord Almighty says: I will punish them. Their young men will die by the sword, their sons and daughters by famine. Not even a remnant will be left to them, because I will bring disaster on the people of Anathoth in the year of their punishment. Don't take my words for it. Check it out yourself. Jeremiah 11, verses 18 to 23. On that note, my dear friends, Georgie Porgy is going to hightail it out of here with thanks for your company and your help this morning. Thank you so much, so much, so much. God bless you. And by his grace, say we will get together again tomorrow morning at 9.